Okay.
Hello and welcome to Cousin Chat, where we talk about what matters. I'm your host, Donna Pezant, and today what matters are aspiring authors. So, in order to have this conversation with me, I have decided to have an author join me. And so, in the form of my cousin, Dr. Pazana Byers, say hello to the people.
Hello, everybody. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me again.
You're welcome. And I'm so glad to have you because I want to give aspiring authors a little bit of encouragement today. I
Yes.
think sometimes people have a lot to say and they know they want to write a book, but they just really don't know how to start. Like, where do I even begin? And so for people who are like that, let's say once you have everything written, like say if they have already begun the process of writing their story, okay, or whatever it is they want to write, journals, personal stories, biography, or write about whatever it is that they wanted to write. And then, okay, so now they've done it.
Yes.
Got all these little different pieces of paper here, there, and everywhere, all these little files and documents. And then they say, you know what? I'm going to actually do it now. After you have everything written, what is the next step?
Well, the first thing you want to do, like you say, you have a lot of different things written up, is to compile everything. Make sure that everything is in order, in some kind of order. I do have clients where they don't necessarily have everything in order, but they have everything, say, recorded on something. Um, I'm about order, so that's the first thing I do whether I'm compiling information or if I'm transcribing a conversation and they're telling me something that's been going, a story that happened. One thing that happens with writers is that they'll have chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and they all have their different topics. Say you have childhood, you have something for teenagers, something for adulthood, for example. So you've written everything you can think about in your childhood that could be significant, everything that happened in your teenage years, and then you go to your adulthood. Well, once you get into another chapter, you might remember something that happened in your childhood years, and then you go back. And I encourage that because that's how it is. Once you get everything out of your head, then other things start coming up, things that you totally forgot, but that they are significant. And and it could change someone's life. And I've had that happen where, talk to clients and or customers and they'll tell me something, and then they'll say, well, do you think it's important that I mention this? And I'm here, what is it? And then they'll tell me, I'm like, yes. And that's part of your story. So I've had some people say to me, well, my resume is online, for example. And I say, no, this is not a resume. It's not a scientific report. It's your story. And so what I do is I take their information once they get it all together, and sometimes they don't. If they can just compile it some kind of way, I transcribe it, I type it up, and I make it flow. I make it into a story. But the first thing you have to have is you have to have an idea of what it is that you want to share, because everybody has a story, but you have to have an idea of what that is, have it together, and then write it up, type it up. There's sometimes people will type up something and it might come out to only 30 pages, but what I do, I develop their storylines. And I have a publishing company, so I develop the storylines, and I tell them, I read it, and then I ask them to go here and develop that sentence. Talk about what that meant to you, how you felt, that kind of thing, you know. So that's what it's about. Just get started. Whatever you have, just get started. Just write it down. It might be 20 pages, it might be 30, but a lot of times they're writing down the meat. There's a lot of meat there. But then what I do, I come along, I show them the meat, the different places that they can develop into another story or to expand it. And but that I feel intimidates a lot of writers, because they feel like, oh man, this isn't, though this is something that significantly happened in my life, it's only about 25 pages, you know, like that. But they don't realize that when you give it to someone who is a writer and can develop that story, then it can turn into more than 100 pages.
Wow. So
Yes.
you mentioned, you know, the fact that you are a publisher. So I'll just stay right there. How does one go about finding a publisher? How do you do that?
Well, you can self-publish your book, and that's what I did when I started writing my own book. I just, Amazon.com has everything available for people who want to self-publish their books, okay? But then if you, but what they will provide is the store to buy it. They provide the templates to format the book, okay? They print the book and bind it. All right, so that's what Amazon does, okay? They also give you a free ISBN number. That an ISBN number is the number that identifies that specific book, okay? So Amazon.com gives that to you for free. Okay, now, for example, if you want to go spend maybe $9,000 somewhere, or $15,000, okay, then you find a publishing company, and they will give you, I believe they give you part of your fee that you're paying for them to give you an ISBN number from the Library of Congress, okay, which costs money. And they're also charging you for what it's going to cost to have that book printed. And they're going to order, say, for example, they order what's called author's copies. Author's copies are much cheaper than the retail price. So the publishing company, the money you give them, they order the books, okay? And then they set up book signings and, you know, all that kind of stuff like that. So it depends on what you want. Me, I wanted to just go ahead and write my books, get it done, and then, you know, deal with distribution and all that later. But I knew that whenever I want to buy something or go online, the first place most people, well, I don't want to say most, but the first place I go is Amazon.com. They are the largest online bookstore in the world. They are. And there are many publishing companies that boast that they get their books on the largest bookstore, Amazon.com. So I'm like, let me just go to Amazon and, you know, get a free ISBN number, and they will print it for you. They will bind it for you. They give you the designs and everything. You know, you have to design it. You have to choose everything, the font size and all that. But yeah, so I just say, you know, just do it.
That really sounds like such a good plan. You know, people hopefully they'll just go for it. I
Yeah.
might do it myself one day. Um,
Yes.
but I want to uh, go with go to the encouraging part of this chat this evening. So for people who think, nobody's going to want to hear what I have to say, or my story is not important. Why should anybody read my book? So why bother? Like, well, what advice would you give them? I know what I
Oh.
would say, but what would you say?
Everybody has a story to tell. And I really think that when people have stories to tell, especially overcoming certain things in life, or if you've learned from a mistake you made in the past or something like that, it could be learning through observation. But everyone has a story to tell, and I think that is something that intimidates people. Again, they think that the story doesn't matter, who's going to want to hear their story. But it can, if it just changes one person, if it touches one person, then it matters. It matters. But I would just tell them, no, just know that what you have, what you've experienced in your life, um, can transform someone else's life as well. So share your story, tell it, just tell it. You'd be surprised.
And see, for someone like me, sometimes I think about, writing a book, but what would I write about? And so
Mhm.
sometimes I feel like I'm in teacher mode, so let me write a book that teachers would like. And then
Yeah.
I'm in like real person mode. Let me write a book that real people would like, like people who are non-educators. And so because I've been going back and forth between the two, I just haven't started either one.
But let me say this. Let me say this. Um, so I hear two books already from you. Okay. You said teacher mode. All right. So you can share an experience or many experiences as a teacher over the years. You can talk about how you've noticed children changing. You can talk about the how parents are, their confidence in the school system, how parents, you know, interact with schools, what children who are aspiring and making A's or honor roll students, what how are their parents interacting with them in the school as opposed to children who are not thriving. So that right there is a book already. I know because I did a dissertation on it. That was my dissertation actually when I was for my doctorate.
Mhm.
Was I studied Atlanta Public Schools and how parents interacted with the schools, their confidence levels in the school system. So, but I'm saying to you as a teacher, you're a teacher, and so that's a book by itself. Okay. And then, like you say, you have the non-teacher mode. And so I'm quite sure that there's so many things that you could write about that. So, me, I'm a poet, so I wrote a book of poetry. And then I wrote a book of different experiences in the Gullah Islands. And then I also included poetry, and then my metaphysical background and so forth. And then I included poetry in that. So, and I was a social worker for over 25 years. I'm writing a book on my social work experience. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it doesn't have to confuse you. We live a long life, or the lives we live, we learn from those experiences, and you can share those with other people, and people can really grow from those.
And one thing I want to just point out again to all those who are listening is that the book doesn't have to be long. That's what
No,
I heard you say. Like, it doesn't have to be long.
no, it does not.
It's
Mm-mm.
yours.
Exactly. And that's the thing too with Amazon.com. Now they have two, and I can go through the steps of, the book actually self-publishing, right? But one thing for sure that might scare people away, they have two templates. One is blank and one is a sample, right? So the blank template, if you upload 30 pages on a blank template, Amazon is going to say, oh no, this isn't long enough. We can't publish this. It has to be at least 75 pages.
Okay.
But if you download the template, the one with the template, and then they have different sizes, they call them trimming. They have different sizes. Then you're going to download the exact size of that book. Now you input 30 pages. That's going to be, you see what I'm saying? It's going to be a small, and it's going to be a lot more. So you got to know how to work it, but there's definitely a way to get the number of pages.
It sounds like I just got my homework for the summer, cousin.
There you go. See there?
I'm serious. I might as well. I think I'm really going to do it.
Yeah,
so anyway,
do it.
So look, we did this chat to inspire other people, and look, I inspired myself. I mean,
you just call me. I'll help you.
But this is good. This is good. So listen, guys, thank you so much for, joining us for this chat today. If you want to follow Cousin Chat, and I really hope you do, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So if you would follow us on that platforms, that would be lovely. We also have a YouTube channel. So if you go to the YouTube channel, you can see the videos of, the conversations that I'm having with people. And if you would subscribe before you leave. But we always leave you with a takeaway, something to think about. And so I guess I will leave you with the takeaway that I would take away myself. And that is just do it. If it's something you've been thinking about, and I'm talking to myself as well, folks, but if it's something you've been thinking about writing or thinking about, well, I really could write a book, but I'm not sure. Just do it. I mean, somebody will want to hear whatever it is you have to say. And I always look at it like this. Sometimes the things that we go through are not always for ourselves. Sometimes we go through them so that we can bless other people. So you never know what that experience that, you are calling minute or very small, or who's going to care about that. Somebody may really need to hear about that. Yeah. So just as I'm encouraging you to go for it, I'm going to take my own advice, and I think I'm going to put author beside my name by the end of the summer. Pazana, do you have anything to add to the takeaway?
I concur with you. Absolutely. Just do it. Just do it. There are so many people who procrastinate. They put it off, and then it's too late. Just do it. Just do it. It's so rewarding to see your work. And that's one thing. And let me just say that as a publisher, the people that I meet and write their books for them, what really makes my heart sing is when I see them hold their book in their hand. I love it. I ghostwrite and I co-write and I edit, other than the services that I provide, but even as a ghostwriter, even as a co-writer, it's so rewarding to see people hold that book in their hand that they've always wanted to, and always wanted to have. And it's nothing like it. Just do it. Just do it. That's my takeaway.
Well, I really hope we did inspire some people today, especially aspiring authors who've been putting it off. I really hope this is the push that you needed to just get started. So, ladies and gentlemen, until we come back for our next Cousin Chat, I'm Donna.
I'm Pazanta.
And this has been Cousin Chat. All right, be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.